It's the Daily Doug.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the Daily Doug. Thanks for being with me today. My friends, today is a Monday, which means it is a metal Monday, and I am happy to return to the music of the band Ghost for the first time since earlier this year, and I'm happy to get back to this band. People have been requesting music from Ghost, and today we are going to be listening to their song Mary on a Cross. And I've done some read into this song, and I think I'm really going to find it interesting, friends. We started our journey into the music of Ghost with a reaction in the summer of 2023 to a song of theirs called Cerise, and I didn't come back to them for a long time. Fast forward to this past spring, 2025, back in April, they were releasing their new album, Skeleton, and we listened in one episode to the first two singles from that album, Satanized and Lacrima, and then just a few weeks later we came back and listened to the third single from Skeleton, a song called Peacefield. And I've been very taken with the music of Ghost. They are a metal band, but they've got a lot of just straight ahead rock and even some pop sensibility to their sound. And they've got that enigmatic flair with the makeup and the costumes and everything that they do, and the sort of mysticism or backstory behind the band that they have put together. It's really fascinating. I'm just starting to really understand what they're about and what they're going for, and the music lives up to expectations so far, friends. So today I am returning to their music, and we're going to hear Mary on a Cross, which was originally released back in 2019 as one of two songs from an EP called 7 Inches of Satanic Panic. And this was the second song of that two-song set. And we're going to be watching their official video for this song, which includes footage from a live performance that they gave in Tampa, Florida in 2022. I'm very curious to see them performing live. So let's get right to it, friends. We've got Papa Emeritus Nihil, aka Tobias Forge, the songwriter, the lead vocalist, the main person behind this band. He is joined by his bandmates, who are referred to as a group of nameless ghouls. So we will leave it at that. Let's check it out, friends. This is Ghost, and they are performing Mary on a Cross live back in 2022. Here we go.
It's a song that my papa used to sing, actually.
His papa used to sing. All right. It's a cool looking jacket, by the way. Sound. The keyboards I'm really liking. Yeah, G minor. Just down to the F chord. Just that. Oh, there's the E flat chord. Cool. And the truth of the matter is, I never let you go. Major key. Not just another Bloody Mary, Mary on a Cross. There's the 1, the 5, the 4, Back to the relative minor. Rock in tune, steady 4. The sound is really great. Guitar. One of more of a solo. Singing is great. Slightly different progression. I'm waiting for them to get back to what they were doing. Yeah. And are they going to leave it there? I believe that they are. They were doing a little 4-chord progression there towards the end, y'all.
Marijuana. Cross.
You know, it's Monday, friends, so I might be having a case of the Mondays, but was he saying Mariana Cross or Marijuana Cross? Either way, I don't mind. I don't mind. Y'all, that was a really cool tune. Nothing earth-shattering about it. Straight ahead rock song in 4/4. The melody was catchy. The backing vocals were really lovely and right in tune, and it really grooved. It sounded great live on stage. I want to lift up something that they were doing, a little something that they were doing to add flair to their pretty standard progression that they were doing there at the end. They were in just one set of keys for the piece. They were either in G minor or B flat, the relative major, but there at the end, they were in G minor. Okay? The chord progression was G minor down to E flat major, and then the B flat major, which is the 1 chord, right, of the major scale, and then to the B flat, the 5. It's a 4-chord progression. 6 to 4 to 1 to 5, and then there to bum to bum to bum. And what they were doing to re-rack, they could have just gone right back and started with the G, you know, but they did this. A little chromatic passing tone, and it just adds just enough flair to a pretty standard progression, especially in pop music, that gives it a little bit extra, and it's what we call a secondary dominant. What we do, we landed on an F chord, and we want to go up to G. Well, the distance from an F to a G is a whole step. And when we want to treat G as a goal, something we're going to move towards, like it's a tonic, like it's something we want to tonicize, like it's something we want to treat temporarily, like the one chord. We do that functionally by giving it its leading tone, its half step right below it. And I can't do that with F because F is a whole step below G. So what do? I need to go from the F up to the F sharp. And the F sharp becomes the leading tone that leads to there, right? In the F chord, right? I've got a leading tone. It's the A that leads to B flat, right? That goes there. But instead, we want to change that F and we want to make it that chord with the F sharp. I used a D7, which is the 5 chord of G. If I want to tonicize G with its dominant, if I'm in G, I want to go sol, la, ti, do, right? There's the 5. I just borrow the 5 chord from G minor. And that just happens to include that lovely F sharp in it. So when they're going around, it just gives it another little bit of color that helps them to move from one place to another. Really cool, right? It's not something that is groundbreaking. It's a relatively standard type of chromatic chord, but it provides that flair, and that's how those things work. When you think of a secondary dominant, think of a borrowed chord. I'm borrowing this chord. I want to, in this case, I want to land on G. I want to treat G minor like it's tonic. Well, what's G minor's leading tone? F sharp, right? So it either needs to be an F sharp chord that's in G minor's key, or it needs to be that D chord that's got that F sharp in it, either the 5 or the 7 of G. Cool. I could keep going on secondary dominants, y'all, but I think I'll leave it there. The only other thing that I want to talk about a little bit is are the lyrics of this particular song. They're quite religiously charged on the surface, but I don't think he's actually really going for that. I found a quote that Tobias gave back on a YouTube live stream in 2022, and he was talking about this song. And here's what he said. He said, there are multiple layers of the lyrics that might be important for people to understand. The chorus is written very tongue-in-cheek, of course. He says, go down. Doesn't necessarily mean as in a 69 sense of the word, or even something negative. It means you can go down in history. I mean, you can make your mark. He says your own ascent, right? So when he says you go down just like Holy Mary, Mary on a cross, that's what he's talking about. You'll be written about. You'll go down in history, just like Mary on the cross. And he says Mary doesn't necessarily mean Mary, mother of Jesus. It might mean Mary Magdalene, the proclaimed whore that might have actually been the wife of Jesus, just as a symbol for someone who came off as one thing, but actually had other intentions and was something else. Meaning it's someone who's miscredited. You might go down like Mary on the cross, meaning someone who's miscredited. You're notorious, maybe. And then he finishes off by saying, I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not going to explain exactly all the elements of the song, but it's more about friendship and how, together with someone else, you might have been something at one point, and then you just end up not being like that. He's talking about the way friendships and partnerships can help us to become things that we couldn't otherwise have accomplished by ourselves. We become something bigger than ourselves. We become something different than what we could have been just on our own. And how those friendships are important. I really like this guy, Tobias. I like his songwriting. I like his sense of wit. I like his intelligence. This music seems very, very well intentioned. You know what I mean? They're pulling it off with flair, with their own artistic endeavor, with their own artistic sound, with their own artistic point of view. But y'all, it just smacks of coming from a mind or a group of minds that are really deeply thinking about the world, their place in it, our place in it, what we do, what humanity is about, how we react to things, and what this experience living kind of can reveal to us. And they're trying to bring that out in their art. Sometimes smack dab with the lyrics right up the top of your head, right? And other times it's a little more metaphoric. But every time I've come back to Ghost, they've really both entertained me and provided me with some great sounds to groove along to. And that's what I love about this band in particular. And so thank you to the fans of this band for keeping on me and not letting me get too far away from them this time like I did back in 2023 when it was almost 2 years before we heard from them again. I'll get back to more from this band, y'all. Let me know other songs from them that you would like me to get to. I still need to hear all of Skeletor, the new album from this year, so maybe that'll be something that I can get to, maybe over on our Patreon, with an extended play lounge listen before too long. I don't know, but I can tell you one thing. I do want to keep coming back to music from this band, and I'm eager to do so. But that's going to be all for me today, my friends. I thank you very much for hanging out with me. We've been listening to Mary on a Cross by Ghost. Thanks, y'all. We'll see you next time on another edition of The Daily Doug.